Let's record.
Got it.
Away they go.
It's today's God Call with Reverend Bill.
The word today is serendipity, and sometimes it means luck, but it's actually more about the aptitude or the tendency to have things fit together in a way that brings good in lots of different forms into the life of the person who's experiencing serendipity. So it could be finding money on the ground, or it could be walking into a room and locking eyes with somebody you've never met before and knowing that it's going to be a forever relationship. Whatever form it takes, invite some serendipity into your life today.
Good morning. I'm going to start off with a song by Bob Dylan, one that I recently learned. I didn't know, but it seems like a good way to start. This is called New Morning. Can't you hear that rooster crowing? Rabbit running down across the road, underneath the bridge where the water flows through. So happy just to see you smile underneath the sky of blue. On this new morning, on this new morning, on this new morning with you. Can't you hear that motor turning? Automobile coming into style, coming down the road for a country mile or two. So happy just to see you smile underneath the sky of blue. On this new morning, on this new morning with you. The night passed away so quickly. It always does when you're with me. Can't you feel that the sun is shining? Groundhog running by the country stream. This must be the day when all of my dreams come true. So happy just to be alive underneath the sky of blue. On this new morning, on this new morning with you. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. Good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Here we are. The new year is well underway. We are on Zoom, staying inside as the COVID numbers go through a rather dramatic spike. So congratulations on your pragmatic safetyness, or whatever we're going to call that. And fortunately, we all know how to do a Zoom celebration. Keep your microphone muted, except when you're sharing, et cetera, so we don't have a cacophony. Except now, because we love to start off by hearing all of our fun voices together. So go ahead and unmute. Repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I'm in the right place right now.
I'm in the right place right now.
Love is right here with me.
Love is right here with me.
And so it is.
So it is.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Press that mute button one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our Zoom today, and wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you. And welcome home. We believe that there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us. And that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. Get into some more detail on that during the talk today as we go over the Gospels of Ernest Holmes. And the way that we like to put it for short around here is your new life begins with a new thought. If you have a cell phone, I'm not surprised. If you would like to not be interrupted by your cell phone or other electronic devices over the course of the next hour or so, go ahead and set it on shush or turn it off, because we get to turn within to open ourselves to the indwelling truth rather than the distractions of the net or social media. I'm Reverend Bill Marchiony. Our music today is the illustrious Emily Drinker. And our practitioner today is Joe Catanzaro, RSCP. And we will begin our celebration in prayer as we begin everything. Take it away, Joe.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Bill. Good morning, everyone. Let's take a breath, turn within, and know with me that there is one power, one presence, one mind, love, intelligence, infinitely expressing itself through each one of us, in each one of us, as each one of us. We are pure beingness, unlimited. That omniscience and omnipotence of the one is our core truth. That is available to us. That one resides within each one of us, within all life. So we share the same source, the same spirit, the same substance, the same truth. The celebration today, we celebrate that. We gather to recognize the wholeness, the completeness, the unlimitedness of each one of us. Each one of us, as well as that one power and presence. I know that everything we create, do today in this celebration and beyond it comes from that core, that truth within us, from our connection to the one. And we use that power to create more and more good for each other, for ourselves, for our communities, for the world. So I'm grateful for each one here. I'm grateful for everything we share, everything you bring, everything we create today. I know that each one of us is filled and sustained by that truth, by that inner beingness. So I'm grateful for all of this. I allow it, I accept it for each one here. And I release my word to the law that always says yes, and so it is.
So it is. So we don't do prayers to try and bum a favor from a sometimes responsive deity. We actually do a prayer because they're causative. They actually change something in then put an intention into the natural laws of the universe to allow some newness to come into being. I'll get into more detail on that in the talk as well. Keep on pre-gaming the talk for you. Kind of exciting. But right now, what we get to do is talk about the prayers that we've been doing and where they're working in our lives. So if anybody has a prayer work story that you would like to share, wave your hand just like Jane has demonstrated. Go ahead, Jane.
I have such a good prayer work story. So back in 2020, Breen and I had a vacation plan to go to Mexico. And because of COVID, it got canceled. And Spirit Airline gave us a credit. And they kept pushing the credit back and back because COVID and, so finally they said, you have to find a place to go by and have it booked by December 31st, or you're going to lose your entire credit. So we get online and we're like, kind of like trying to figure out where we would go, where Spirit will take us. And the long story short, we got so frustrated with dealing with Spirit Airlines that Breen just said, you know what, do you mind if we lose this deposit? And I'm like, fine, because I don't even want to deal with this airline anymore. And I was a little downhearted because I really wanted to go on a vacation. And I was like, I guess we just have to let it go. If we're meant to have some kind of vacation, maybe it'll happen. So about 2 days later, I'm sitting in the den watching TV with Breen, and I get a text from Annie. And she says, hey, we're going to Maine in July. If you guys want to come, we'd love to have you. And I was like, yes. I was literally dancing around my living room. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I mean, I love Maine. It's my favorite state. And so Breen was excited too. And he's like, I wonder if there's any dog kennels that are right near where Kate's family house is. So 3 miles, right, Breen? Maybe 3 miles. So within 3 miles, there might be a kennel. And that would really take this prayer work story way over the top if we could take a family road trip with our little canine companions and take them all the way up to Maine with us and just have them staying, closer to us. If we had to.
The dogs are welcome in the house.
Oh God, we cannot do Jack there, but thank you, Annie.
Maybe that'll be another prayer work story.
Yeah. No, it was great. That's prayer works. Woohoo! Thank you, Annie.
Beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Joe, then Jesus, then Breen. Then we move on. Although Breen's going to have a hard time topping Jesus.
Okay, I had to take myself off mute. So I have been praying for an infusion of compassion and patience and tolerance, I guess. And I think it was Friday night. It was Thursday or Friday night. Out of the blue, I got a call from a friend of mine, Sunny Bohm. I had sent her, I don't know. Oh no, I sent her something by email, but she called me and said, I have a treatment for you. And she did this out of the blue. Just, can I do this for you? I said, why not? So she did this beautiful, beautiful treatment that was just spontaneous for me, unexpected, really beautiful, and just so perfect that I couldn't believe it. So it was really, really a gift.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Joe. Yeah. I love the stories. All of a sudden, out of the blue, the phone rang, which is how the phone rings, but it's still kind of cool. Jesus has a prayer work story.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I just, from the 28th to the 5th, from the 28th to December to the 5th of January, I had some back-to-back rides I had to do. So I never did that many before, back-to-back. So I did a prayer for me to get this accomplished with strength, vitality, and everything working in divine order. So at the last trip I had, everything was smoothly. The last trip, I don't know if y'all know, I was stuck in 95, or 95 was stuck in me for 22 hours over there in Virginia. And I was just thinking about that story, about that elderly gentleman, that he didn't have a lot of material resource, but he had his spiritual bank account was full, and his sidewalk was kind of not too good. It was a lot of cracks. So he got his grandkids to take out the stones, and he built the mold. And then he said, well, I prayed and moved my feet. God, I did my part. And he was expecting, like always, he had something from God. And in 3 days, a cement truck came by and turned and flipped over. And he told the guys, hey, you can put it right here. Because if they didn't do that, the cement get hard and then the damage be for the truck. So they dumped it there. And then he said, thank you, God. So that story always remind me, and I play it back and back in my head, talking to God. And when I was there for 22 hours, and I didn't have no water. I didn't have no food. I only had a bottle for the bathroom, but I wasn't thirsty. I wasn't hungry. I didn't have to use the bathroom. I was just running a little low on fuel at the end. So I did a prayer work on that. And then I texted Reverend Bill around 8 because I didn't have no internet. And I wanted to see because it was only emergency calls only. So I said, let me dial 111, see, if it works. It didn't work. No emergency calls, nothing. Nothing I was getting through. I couldn't take the meditation in the morning. And so I texted Reverend Bill, I can't take the meditation. I'm stuck in 95. It's not clear to me yet. Everything was going on, but Lord will have his way. And then around 10 o'clock, people was running out of fuel and all that. So, but I saw the love, the togetherness that everybody was, nobody was rushing each other and they was looking out, and I saw somebody coming with water, but I wasn't thirsty. And I know it was women's and kids, that I think they needed it more than me. So when at 10 o'clock, they say, okay, they was gonna move a lane. So we started moving and everything got clear. And when I explain this to people say, oh, terrible. I said, man, I look back and I see it was one of the best things that happened so far to me this year, because it got me from one stage. I don't know to explain it. I didn't put myself in that position. I didn't want to be in that position, maybe in that time, but Spirit had me there. And I just was trusting God because I made more money. And I also, a day before, 2 days before, and then one of my classmates say, Jesus, did you did any affirmative prayer? I said, I don't even got to pray for the next 10 years. That's how much I pray I did. And then I took the class Tuesday through South Carolina. So, but I was saying, Reverend Will say, Jesus, you going to take the petitioning class? But I said, yeah, I'll be in West Palm taking the class, relax. And I took it going through South Carolina. Everything worked out good. My financial resource was more than one expected, and everything was fine. So that was my prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, that's quite a story. That's quite a story. Jesus brought up the notion of a spiritual camel, about being able to store that many prayers in your hump, which is kind of fun. And I got the text from him, but it didn't come in until 11:15, even though he sent it at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we had already spoken by then. Breen, batting cleanup, and sorry about whoever that was.
So real quick, Jane mentioned earlier, we're doing a renovation. We demoed our den and we're going to do our powder room. We're also getting new appliances in the kitchen. And in my mind, I decided how this was going to go because they're just going to come up the driveway and go right in the kitchen. Turns out that the refrigerator won't fit in the side door. It has to come in the front door. So the dumpster won't matter. That is all.
Thank you, Breen. We've got some announcements now, and those are going to be brought to us by the puppy mom, Annie. Turn that back on. There we go. Now you can, Annie.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This frosty information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. Twice a day, we have a community check-in and meditation on Zoom. Everyone is welcome. They're inspiring and fun and quick, less than 15 minutes start to finish. Episode 31 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer Podcast is Unity and Oneness. Listen on the website or subscribe on Apple, Google, Spotify, or Stitcher. Beyond Limits is our foundational class in New Thought Principles and Practices. Learn to create the life of your dreams. Thursday evening is the last chance to join the class. We're skipping the weeks that conflict with the Women's Circle. Register today. The one-day practical prayer workshop is on Saturday, January 22nd from 12:30 to 5 on Zoom. It's open to all, no previous experience required. Healing the Divide is a 10-week program starting this evening. It's based on Ruth King's book, Mindful of Race, conducted in small groups. Sandy Freed and Karen Judd will lead. Follow our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and join the 736 Philly spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets Mondays at 7 p.m. You can contact Sandy for information. The Women's Circle meets on the fourth Thursday of the month on Zoom. Also, contact Sandy. The Conscious Creativity Corps meets the third Tuesday every month, and you can contact Chris. New Thought Philadelphia is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're grateful for your donations by PayPal, check, Venmo, or Cash App. Thank you to the production team and the presenters who make our Zoom celebrations work and have fun doing it. There's a short technical rehearsal before the celebration on Sunday. To join the team, contact Carla Ann. Next Sunday will be virtual on Zoom and YouTube. Guest speaker, Reverend Dr. John Karn, I think, will talk about connecting with joy. Live original music by Anna. Make 2022 a breakthrough year. Reverend Bill is offering spiritual coaching and prayer practice to dive into the challenges in your life and help you move beyond them. After the celebration, Joe will be available for a quick Miracle in a Minute prayer at no charge. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open for people to talk among ourselves.
Thank you, Annie. It's Anna Bravozniak, and the script that Annie was reading says Anna, and then parentheses just say Anna, don't try for Bravozniak. We have a special blessing and a gift for people who join us for the second time when we're together in person. So when we get back together in person, make sure you take one of those special gifts and a hug, and know that you're blessed anyway. We also have a blessing and a special welcome for our first-time visitors. We have some buttons for Zoom bombers to move them into a different place so they don't have to continue with our celebration. So if there's anybody who's here for the first time or feels like it's the first time, go ahead and raise your hand either electronically or by waving to us, and we will know that you are welcome. The rest of us are going to rub our hands together to generate some warmth so we can feel the love coming out. And send that love out. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you for shining that light and sharing your love with us today. Welcome home. So as we do the next song, go ahead and turn your camera on and switch your screen to gallery view. And we can make eye contact with the people we're in community with today.
All right. This is a song by Philly songwriter Amos Lee. It's called Little Light. It's kind of his version of This Little Light of Mine. So yeah, feel free to sing along. It's easy to latch on to. Some days I can't get myself out the box. Some days I can't find keys to any locks. Some days I feel like it's all overblown. And then I look at you and I don't feel so alone. And I said, hey, let your little light shine. Let your little light shine. for the world to see. Hey, let your little light shine, let your little light shine, for the world to see. Some days I can't get myself out the race, and all that cold wind blows right in my face. Some days I feel like I'm against the wall, but then I look at you standing strong and tall against it all. Hey, let your little light shine, let your little light shine, for the world to see. Hey, let your little light shine, let your little light shine, for the world to see. Now I'm gonna keep on looking for the stars in the sky. I'm gonna keep on looking for the stars. I'm gonna keep on looking for the stars in the sky. I'm gonna keep on looking for the stars. Hey, let your little light shine, let your little light shine, for the world to see. Hey, let your little light shine, let your little light shine, for the world to see. One more time. Oh, hey, let your little light shine, let your little light shine, for the world to see. Hey, let your little light shine, let your little light shine, for the world to see. Thanks.
Thank you, Amos.
Yes.
Sandy is going to lead us in the flames of faith this morning.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. The reading today is going to be Deepak Chopra, delivered via Jane Rourke.
Good morning, everyone. A wizard exists in all of us. This wizard sees and knows everything. Once you find the wizard within, the teaching goes by itself. For many years, this kind of spontaneous learning has been the center of my own daily life, watching and waiting for what the inner guide has to say. No other way of learning is so fascinating. I've heard Merlin speak from laughter overheard at the airport, from whispering trees on a walk down to the beach, even from my television. A bus station can turn into the crystal cave if you are open to it. Why do we need the wizard's way? We need it to lift us from the ordinary and the humdrum to the kind of significance that we tend to relegate to myth, but is actually right at hand, here and now. Being alive means winning the right to say anything you want, to be who you want to be, and to do what you want to do. Camelot was a symbol for this sort of freedom. That is why we look back upon Camelot with such wistfulness and admiration. Life has been difficult ever since. A disciple once went to a great master and said, "Why do I feel so bottled up inside, as if I want to scream?" The master looked at him and replied, "Because everyone feels that way." All of us want to expend the love and creativity to explore our spiritual nature, yet often we fall short. We lock ourselves in our own prisons. Some people, however, have broken out of the confines that make life so constricted. Listen to the Persian poet Rumi, who says, "You are the unconditioned spirit trapped in conditions like the sun in eclipse." This is the voice of a wizard who will not accept that humans are limited in time and space. We are just temporarily in eclipse. The purpose of learning from a wizard is finding the wizard within. Having found the inner guide, you found yourself. The self is the ever shining sun that may be in eclipse, but once the shadows pass, the sun is simply there in all its glory. The inner wizard wants to speak, and this is true for all of us, but the wizard needs a chance, an opening. Like Zen koans, aphorisms provide that opening by causing a shift in perception, which can trigger a shift in personal reality. The wizard's voice needs to be brought back into daily life. I've quoted the first sentence of the first lesson. A wizard exists in all of us. This wizard sees and knows everything. The rest of the lesson goes as follows. The wizard is beyond opposites of light and dark, good and evil, pleasure and pain. Everything the wizard sees has its roots in the unseen world. Nature reflects the moods of the wizard. The body and the mind may sleep, but the wizard is always awake. The wizard possesses the secret of immortality.
Thank you. I like that a lot. I'm going to play an original song that I wrote for a friend a couple of weeks ago. And I hope it can connect a little bit to that wonderful reading. I don't know how to tell you this anymore, but you are loved. Wake up every morning with the same old fears, but I hope you can discover yourself a little more. Write a love letter to you and to another. Let a little gratitude out of your cap and let that help you recover. Make a cup of tea and then go out for a walk. Hold your dog, get close to you, then sing in the shower. Let your people know who you really are. Bake a batch of cookies, give them out to your neighbors. Dance around your bedroom, maybe even get naked. Go to bed early and dream of what's to come. I don't know how to tell you this anymore, but you are loved. It's a short little song.
Thank you, Emily. Well, it looks like we might have lost Reverend Bill for just a moment. So I know he was, there he is.
There he is. Sorry about that.
Man, I was ready to go with the Gospels of Holmes.
Well, thank you for your patience. Yeah, distraction around me. In answer to Standy's question, what maybe an hour ago, it doesn't seem to be that slippery outside at this point. Anyway, today we are talking about the Gospels of Holmes. And the Gospels of Holmes are actually the initial 4 chapters in the Science of Mind textbook. So New Thought Philadelphia is based on the branch of New Thought, which is based in the Science of Mind textbook called Religious Science. And there are other branches of New Thought that believe a lot of the same things with slightly different language and slightly different approaches. That includes unity, which was founded by some different folks, and divine science, and there are others and others and others. The reason that I like to talk about the Gospels, the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook, is because Ernest Holmes lays out pretty clearly what the whole philosophy and teaching is all about. Now, we've distilled it down to what we say at the beginning of the celebration. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence that creates everything, including each of us, and that we are each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. That's pretty much the way that we would summarize the whole thing. There's more detail to it. The Science of Mind textbook is over 650 pages long, and there's a lot of detail and a lot of nuance in it. When I do workshops with teens, a lot of times we will put there will be a principle and sometimes a bit of a reading from one of the books that we have at the beginning of the workshop. And my joke with the teens is that the closer to the front of the Science of Mind textbook the quote is from, the more basic and foundational and fundamental it's going to be. So the first 4 chapters are really basic. And I'm going to read the opening sentence. I could probably just do it from memory. The first chapter. We all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible to the invisible. Science knows nothing of opinion, but recognizes a government of law whose principles are universal. Yet any scientist who refuses to accept intangible values has no adequate basis for the values which he has already discovered. Revelation must keep faith with reason and religion with law. And it goes on and on and on. So the first 4 chapters are the thing itself, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. And in making it that simple, Ernest Holmes steps us through it. The thing itself is mind, consciousness. There is one mind, one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence, one love. There is just the one. And it operates in a couple of different ways. So there are different aspects of the one, and they work together. And I'm going to actually get the teaching symbol out because it winds up being very helpful in explaining this. My audiovisual piece of paper held up in front of the camera. So this is the metaphysical teaching symbol. And the circle around the outside refers to oneness. There is only one. And it's a circle, so it has an inside and an outside, but that's the only way that you can draw the infinite to make it a circle, because everything exists within the one. The thing itself is that one. And what happens is it shows up in 3 different aspects. One of them is up at the top, that's consciousness or objective mind. And there are different ways that this can be taught or understand based on whether we're talking about the infinite or our individual experience of the infinite. So what happens is you have a mind, you have conscious thoughts, you are aware of your mind and your conscious thoughts, perhaps. And all of the thinking that you are doing, that you are consciously aware of, all of the thoughts that you have, all of the beliefs that you have, that you are aware of, are up in that top portion where you are able to set an intention and make a choice. Those are the conscious thoughts live. In the infinite creative universe of everything, that top is the divine. That top part is infinite conscious mind. In scripture says, in the beginning there was darkness and void, and God said, let there be light. And that God that said was up there in the top portion, the top of the circle there. Remember, this is all one. So down below that, in the middle section here, that's where the law lives. That's where the creative law lives. And this thing, which is the creative law, that's either subjective or that's our subconscious mind. And because they work the same way in different aspects, one for the infinite, one for the individual, your subconscious mind, my subconscious mind, and the subjective mind, the law that's responding to our intentions, and in fact, to everyone and everything's conscious intention, that one law is the same and it's common to all of us. And the part down in the bottom is the part that we experience. This is where form is. This is where everything that shows up to our senses appears in the world. So the thing itself is that one mind operating in those ways, and the understanding that thought is creative. The second chapter is the way it works. How does it work? It works for us by working through us. It responds by corresponding. If you wanted to, for example, make ice cubes that are in the shape of butterflies, what you would need is an ice cube tray in the shape of a butterfly. And then you fill that up with water and you let it freeze. And when you pop it out, then you've got a butterfly or an ice cube in the shape of a butterfly. So the water is perfectly willing to freeze in any shape that you want it to. And that's the way it works. It works by corresponding. When we create that mold in consciousness, what we're doing is we are activating that creative process and allowing that new experience, that new shape, that icy butterfly to come into our experience. Now, let's say you don't want to have an ice cube that's shaped like a butterfly. Maybe you find ice cubes shaped like butterflies to be offensive and horrible and the next worst thing to Nazis. That's okay. That's okay, because the process itself is not inherently does not recognize good or evil. The way it works is it always responds by corresponding. So we are free to create something that brings havoc and destruction and chaos, or we are free to set an intention to invite something that creates newness and freshness. Now, Breen was talking about the project that they're working on in their house now, where they're remodeling the den and the powder room. And that's a perfect example. The destructive process isn't bad. Not going to be room to create that remodeled den and powder room unless the old one goes away, unless the stuff that served its purpose very nicely for all of those years and decades needs to make way for something new. So that's the destructive part. It's not evil. It's not bad. It's just making way for something new. And the way it works is by corresponding. So what's going to happen is Jane and Breen had the idea of what they want their new space to look like. And they're looking at the current space and saying, this is not it. And that requires some steps and action to be taken. And through the intention of creating something new in their lives, suddenly there's a dumpster in the driveway and there's some time set aside on weekends or perhaps evenings. And the tools are up from the basement and there's a project underway. And that newness is coming about. So the way it works is it works by corresponding. It works for us by working through us. We set the intention. We allow that conscious mind to respond to whatever it is that we are setting the intention for, or we set it in the conscious mind, and that is pressed into the subjective mind, which is the one that's responding. One mind, a couple of different ways that one mind is working. And what it does is it responds. It is love, and it's ruled by law. It's a principle. It is not, when we do a practical prayer, we are not asking a favor of an outside God and saying, oh, please fix this broken thing for me. What we're doing in our prayer work and our spiritual practice is we are setting an intention for something new, inviting that infinite creative power that creates everything to create whatever it is that we're looking for, and then get out of the way and do whatever it is that's ours to do in the world while letting that infinite creative power create it. This new powder room is probably going to have lots of new materials in it. It's going to have sheetrock and paint and carpeting, or maybe some other kind of flooring. There will be mirrors in the bathroom. And Jane does not need to go out and manufacture the sheetrock. Breen does not need to know how to make a mirror. He's going to set the intention to do that, and then those resources become available as part of the project, and he does his part, and she does her part by doing the choosing, doing the aligning, doing the steps that are theirs to do, and eventually it will wind up with the new mirror being screwed into the wall in the place where everybody thinks it would be a good idea to have a mirror screwed into the wall. What it does is it works, it responds. That one infinite love is always saying yes. The love is always unfolding, and it works as a law. That good that we're seeking, that love is unfolding through a law. It's responding to our intention. If I believe that there's something new and wonderful coming into being, I set the intention for that, I get out of the way, I take part in whatever it is, and I do it. And if I have a hidden belief that it's not going to work, if I have the idea that I want to remodel my powder room, but I don't really believe that I'm going to be able to do it, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I can't do this, then it's not going to get remodeled until I figure out a way in my own understanding that this can be a happening thing, that this can come together. Maybe it's not going to be me doing the demolition and the reconstruction, the remodeling myself. Maybe it's going to be somebody who I retain to provide those services. And as soon as I get myself into the space where, oh, okay, I understand how this can work, I am open to this possibility, and I'm setting my intention, my commitment to doing my part, then maybe the part is to interview contractors and set aside some funds so that that new experience can come into being. There's so many different ways that it can happen. What it does is it responds. And the fourth one, how to use it. I say this a lot, and as soon as I say it again, you guys are going to recognize it. Practice, practice, practice. The beginning of the fourth chapter, Ernest Holmes says there's too much theory and too little practice. So we try to figure it out because it's the science of mind. We figure it's a thinking thing. It starts as a thinking thing. It is an intention thing. And more than anything, it is a practice thing. And what happens is when we get started with practical prayer, it might create some new and remarkable experiences in our lives. And that will let us tend to have even more of those wonderful experiences in our lives. And the good continues to unfold and unfold and unfold. And as we change our beliefs, as we open our willingness to believe something grander and greater, the law responds, and grander and grander and greater and greater is available to us and starts flowing into our lives. That's what the Beyond Limits class is about. That's what we're doing in the class. When we're going beyond limits, is we're taking whatever experience we've been in, whatever box we've been putting our life experience into, and going beyond that. And this practice that we have of setting a new intention, opening ourselves up to new possibility, surrendering and letting go of the limitations that we've experienced in the past, our belief that it needs to stay that way because it's been that way. When we go through that process, the newness is available to us. And it shows up in so many different areas of our lives. It shows up with health challenges resolving themselves. There are people here who have been seriously ill who are now perfectly healthy. Congratulations to you and to all of us, and for our understanding that that's the way the law works. It works on our finances. I mean, we all perhaps have been in a situation where there's been some lack of sufficiency. Funds just weren't available to us for whatever reason. And then that resolves, it turns around. Same thing in matters of relationship connection, going from a feeling of loneliness to a feeling of being supported. Our creativity, the work that we're doing, sometimes it can feel like a drudgery, sometimes it feels like there's no opportunity for anything to happen. And as soon as we are willing to let go of that limiting experience that we've had, that's informed us about what we can't have in the future, as soon as we're willing to move beyond that limit, that law that's always there, that's always saying yes, is ready to say yes to something new. How to use it is to make sure that we're setting our intention in a way that's positive and uplifting and powerful, so that when we get that yes, it's a yes to whatever it is that we want to be experiencing. So what does that leave for you to do? Well, you can understand the thing itself and the way it works. You can know what it does. And then you can use it. Put it to use. Put it to use. In this group now, there are people who are perfectly willing to get together with you and help you create a new idea. And Joe's our practitioner of the day, and she's available for a miracle in a minute after the celebration. If you're not sure what you want to do or what the greatest idea of what you can believe is going to be, get in touch with Joe. Tell her what the experience is that you've been having. What do you want to have instead? And she will help you set a new intention and open up the newness for that. It's really very simple and straightforward. You want to be able to do it yourself? Get into the Beyond Limits class. You want to do it with a group? Then that's what the daily meditations are for. We do the same thing over and over again in lots of different ways because there's only one. There is one creative process that creates everything. It has created me. It's created each of us. It's creating that next new experience that we're going to be having. So let's choose. Let's choose love. Let's choose joy. Let's choose prosperity. Let's choose fun and health and vitality and comfort, creativity, and deep abiding connection. Because we can. Because we can. And as soon as we do, that creative law that always says yes is saying yes. Saying yes to us right now. So it is.
Yes, thank you. All right, here's one of my songs written last year. I should have known it. I drank that coffee too late, waiting for the moment when I can let those floodgates break open. I've been waiting patiently. You gotta make that space for creativity. Let yourself be bored, girl, in order to feel free. You gotta sit alone in your bedroom, hum a new melodies. Oh, 'cause something's coming, you know, for a while. You gotta stick with it, don't give in to feeling tired. Something's coming. Something's coming, 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 coming. Can you feel it? Everything is changing. The world is feeling different. The pieces are rearranging. You gotta trust what's unfolding. Wait for the moment. Oh, 'cause something's coming, you know, for a while. You gotta stick with it, don't give in to feeling tired. Something's coming. Something's coming, coming. Oh. I should have known it. I drank that coffee too late. Oh, 'cause something's coming, you know, for a while. You gotta stick with it, don't give in to feeling tired. Something's coming. Something's coming, coming. Oh, 'cause something's coming, you know, for a while. You gotta stick with it, don't give in to feeling tired. Something's coming. Oh, something's coming, 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 coming. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Emily. And thank you, Reverend Dr. Bill. We're going to do some meditation now, some of that practice. And think about opening ourselves up to that thing itself, that wizard within. Being aware of that crystal cave where we can tap into for insight and inspiration. But beyond that, then we have to allow a channel. We have to open a pathway to get that newness in. And then where are you going to put it? You have to put it somewhere. So you have to make room. Just like Jesus' story where the guy made the form and then stepped back and said, okay, God, take over. And the cement truck shows up. So create the mold, define what it is that you want, and then you don't have to be the doer. You can release that and allow the inspiration and the results to flow in. So we need to set the intention, create the space, and then get out of the way. I think words can sometimes get in the way, so it might be helpful to just imagine a pathway and imagine a mold, just a general shape, what you might want to feel. And then consciously think about stepping back and getting out of the way and allowing spirit to be the doer. So that's sort of a guide for meditating today. Let's get comfortable in our chairs, get your feet flat on the floor, get into a position that supports you. And we'll start by taking a few deep breaths. It's helpful to release and open up. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And release. Release what no longer serves. One more deep breath. Deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And release. One more. Deep breath in. Hold it. And make even more room for that newness and that channel. And just go into the silence, maintaining that openness, letting go of being the doer. Open up to that wizard within.
With our eyes open, we see through the limitations of our eyes. When we close our eyes to the outside world, we are open to the vision of infinite possibility, of that one divine creative power that creates everything, creating something brand new for us. There is no limitation. Good and more good and more good is available to each of us. And I know that that one creative power that creates everything, that has created each of us, is standing poised and ready now to create something new and wonderful in the lives of each one of us. Good and more good is available. The wizard is responding. And that which we describe and define and invite as good is already flowing into our lives. This good is at hand right now. There's nothing to stop it, because this one infinite creative process always says yes. So for the good that we're opening ourselves to, and for the new experiences that we are inviting, that creative law is already saying yes. It's already saying yes. I'm so grateful for the wonderful, joyous, and happy ways this is coming into our lives. I'm grateful for the stories that each one gets to tell. I'm grateful for the uplift that's brought into our lives and the lives of those we touch, and for the even deeper awareness of our connection with spirit. I'm grateful for all of this good. I'm grateful to be able to speak this word of intention, of opening, of invitation, and release it into that creative law that has always said yes. And to know without any doubt or hesitation or suspicion whatsoever that it is already saying yes. This good is already underway. And so I let it go, and I know it's so. And so it is. So it is. Take another deep, full breath in. Allow your awareness to come back to your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes, shrug your shoulders. Do whatever it takes to bring yourself back into the world of your senses, as Emily does another song for us.
I keep my dirt on the surface so you don't gotta dig. The people that make me nervous try to hide all their sins, and I've got no reason to cover my tracks. The best part of learning is just loving where you're at. So love where you're at. Yeah, love where you're at. And keep your dirt on the surface and just love where you're at. I wear my sins on my collar so everyone sees. And there ain't no bother in spreading rumors about me. I ain't no angel, but I ain't so bad. The best part of learning is just loving where you're at. So love where you're at. Yeah, love where you're at. And keep your dirt on the surface and just love where you're at. So love where you're at. Yeah, love where you're at. And keep your dirt on the surface and just love where you're at. And so love where you're at. Yeah, love where you're at. And keep your dirt on the surface and just love where you're at. Oh, love where you're at. Yeah, love where you're at. And keep your dirt on the surface and just love where you're at. Oh, love where you're at. Oh, love where you're at. Let me tell you now, love where you're at. Thanks. That's a song by Alan Stone.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Emily. So here we have been planting seeds and apparently watering them with freezing rain. But the idea is to see if something's germinating for you, something's coming up. Anybody have anything that you'd like to share? I give voice to here. Just go ahead and wave your hand or use the digital hand raiser. Annie, and then Carla.
So I was thinking when you were showing the circle, it made me think about the Beyond Limits class. And I don't know, the word wizard didn't really resonate for me. And that also made me think about when I first came into New Thought, the word God, not only did it not resonate with me, it like repulsed me. But
An
by
allergy.
being open, what did you say?
A God allergy. Yeah.
Yeah, I got allergy. But by being open and just at first in my mind, transforming that word into something that fit better for me over time, I was able to put that on, and I can now say God. Now I accept that everybody has a different interpretation of that. And I think God is thoughts, and thoughts have power, and, you know, on and on and on. But it just made me really think about how when we accept that we're the creative force behind our lives and that God obviously is doing the work and the how, we can be open for some beautiful things. And Beyond Limits was exactly that for me. Like, it transformed my life in such a way that I don't know, it really truly is a life beyond my wildest dreams. So thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Annie. And moving at light speed. Carlanne.
Hi, everybody. So I love the music and the readings, the stories and the talk and the meditation and the wizard. And I was thinking, you know, I have well before New Thought wished people pleasant dreams of puppy dogs rolling down hills. And there are a lot of puppy dogs in these readings. So I love that that keeps coming back. I also, for myself, when I'm stressed, have been able to kind of envision like fields of poppies or tulips. And I guess that's the wizard inside of me that does that. And it's really kind of cool to think of it that way. And it's really very soothing and, I don't know, like peaceful, I guess. And I just love this so much, and all of you, and just thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Carla. And I got an email from Myra. The answer is yes. I will send the information about getting into the Beyond Limits class promptly. We have the offering, and that's going to be Annie one more time.
Okay. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there's a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card or PayPal. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. I'll be donating via Venmo. The offering affirmation is on the screen.
Not yet.
It's not. Okay. I will
It
wait.
will be.
And once it is, then we'll say it together.
Sorry. My browser is having some issues. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Some
It's
issues.
redirecting me. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum.
Browser's lying on a couch with the therapist.
Technology. There's other things. That's what's happening. Here we go.
Okay. We'll say this affirmation together. I live in
Live
an
in an
abundant
abundant universe.
I am
I am one with the infinite source of all good.
I am a
I am a center of conscious prosperity.
I
Enjoy the
the
richness of life.
I bless
Bless
my
my
gift.
gift.
I
Share my gift with gratitude and joy. I know that as I give, I do receive.
So it is.
So it is. So it is. Mute one more time, and Emily's got another one for us.
Yes, I wasn't planning to do this, but something has compelled me to do this, and it can be a sing-along. I'm gonna do I'll Fly Away. If you know it, sing along. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away when the shadows of this life have gone. I'll fly away like a bird from these prison walls. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Oh, how glad and happy when we meet. I'll fly away. No more cold iron shackles on my feet. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joys will never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. I'll fly away. I'll fly away. Thanks for singing along.
Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you, everybody. Wow. Wonderful, wonderful time to spend together if you're in a freezing rainstorm or just hanging out in the outdoors in Arizona or the indoors in Arizona or New Mexico or wherever you happen to be. This is just an opportunity to connect together. I'm loving it all. Let us close with a joyous cacophony. So go ahead and unmute your microphone and repeat after me. I am love.
I am
love.
I am light.
I am
I am light.
I let the light shine.
I let the light shine.
I let the love flow.
I let the love flow.
I fly away.
I fly away.
And so it is.
So it is.
Yay.
Nice.
Beautiful service. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you so much. Linda, what's the temperature in Phoenix?
Linda looks bundled up. It must be in the 60s.
You're muted, Linda.
Still muted. There you go.
Yeah, it's going to be 73 today, so I'm going to send lots of warmth your way.
Thank you.
You've got freezing rain all day. Here it comes. Here it comes, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
The sun just came out where I am.
Nice.
Okay. Well, there's something to be optimistic about. And Annie has a puppy, and it just gets better and better.
And I've got a dumpster in the driveway. Life is good.
Fun.
And I would like to know where I can find that reading that you did, Jane.
Joe got it.
I can send it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
It's a book called The Way of the Wizard by
Deepak Chopra.
Chopra.
Oh,
That's pretty awesome.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
Joe said she's gonna send it to me?
Yeah, I can send it.
Oh, thank you.
I think I have that as an audio book on cassette. I've had it for a while.
Cassettes.
And I have to go out of my way trying not to do a Deepak Chopra impression when I post them.
Come on, do it. Come on, do it. Do it. Do it.
Really talks about the way of the wizard.
Oh man.
Fun book.
Thank you so much, everyone. That was
Okay,
great.
everybody. Have a great Sunday.